Hi there, this is Kala, and today's video is a tutorial and we are going to make a halter top together. So I'll be using 3 different colors just because I want to mix up the colors, and we are going to need a pair of scissors, a measuring tape, and today I'm using a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. So before you start, you must have your waist measurement ready, and I already took mine, and my waist measures 25. So what you do with that measurement is you half it, because this top is not full coverage, it's only covering the front part of the body, so that means you must only have half measurement of your waist. So knowing that my waist is 25, that gives me 12.5 as my measuring that I'm gonna need today. So let's get in the tutorial. I'm going to start with my green color, and like how we normally do, we are going to start with a slip knot, and we are going to make a chain that is long enough to fit the half of your waist. So if your measurement is 12.5 like mine, then you have to chain a chain that is long enough to measure 12.5 inches. So if you don't know how to make a foundation chain, then I'm just gonna refer you to my previous videos because they explain everything. So I'm just gonna make my chain that is gonna be long enough to measure 12.5 inches. Okay, so I'm back with my chain that measures 12.5 inches. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm going to half double crochet across my stitches until the very end. So how to half double crochet is you yarn over, and then you insert your hook in the second chain from the hook, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 chains on the hook, and you pull through. And I'm just gonna repeat that. Yarn over, insert your hook through the next stitch. Now you have 3 chains on the hook, and you pull through. So I'm just gonna do the same thing until the very end of the chain. So I'm just gonna finish with my half double crochets, and then I'll be back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I've completed my row of half double crochets until the end. So I'm just gonna move on to the next row, and how to do that is you chain 1, turn your work, and you continue to work a half double crochet as how you did in the first row. So that is, you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And I'm just gonna do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook, and you must make sure that you insert your hook in 2 of these chains. You see this V here, you must insert your hook in both of them. So pull through, you have 3 chains on the hook, pull through all three. So I'm just going to do that until the end of the row. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Alright, so I've completed my second row of half double crochets, and this is how my project looks like so far. So I'm just going to continue making a couple more rows of half double crochets until where I want to change the colors. And if you're only using one color, then let me just give you a quick visual of how this top looks like. The halter top that I'm talking about should look something like this. You get? So if you are only using one color, then you must continue to make rows of half double crochets until you have this measurement right here. And this part covers from your belly button, or let me say from your waist rather, until somewhere underneath your boobies. And then from here, this is where you're going to decrease from both sides, and I'm just going to explain when you get there. But for now, just continue to work in half double crochets until you have your measurement. And if you are going to change colors like me, then you must just keep watching this tutorial and see how far I go with the changing of colors. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so I've done my fair share of half double crochet rows, and I've made 1 2 3 4 5 rows, and so I'm moving on to the new color. So what I'm gonna do now is, okay, I've already cut off the green one. So how you change colors is you are at your last half double crochet, right? So what you do is you pull up a yarn, insert your hook through. Now you have 3 on the hook. Now instead of finishing off like how you'd normally do with this one, we are going to take the new color, this purple one, and then we finish off our half double crochet with the new one. Do you get it now? So what that does is it starts a new row with a new different color. So we are just going to continue as usual. You chain 1, turn your work, and you half double crochet is how you normally do. But now we want to hide this this excess yarn that we have here, the green that we cut off and the purple one that we just inserted. So I'm just going to align these colors along the project like this, and I'm going to continue to half double crochet. So that is, you see this new one, we insert our hook. Hey, what's going on? we insert our hook in the very first half double crochet, and then you just continue to half double crochet as usual. Insert your hook. Make sure that you just want to hide this excess yarn so that they do not ruin your project as much, just like this. Let me do that again. You see this excess yarn is lined along the project, so what you do is yarn over, insert your hook, make sure they are between the yarn, pull up a loop and crochet as usual. Okay, so do you see what that does? It's like they never existed, and the start of the line, the start of the row is so neat, and that's because of the way we attached the new color. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to continue with half double crochets for 3 rows with this color, and I'm going to change back to the green. Once I'm done with the green, I'm going to insert my blue one, and then it repeats again. So just follow this tutorial and see how I do that. Right, so I've decided to only make 2 rows of half double crochet, and I'm gonna, okay, I've already cut off my yarn. Now I'm just gonna attach the green one because I want it to be green, purple, green, blue, and then you get it like that. So I'm going to insert my green color as how I showed you, and if you didn't get that, you must just rewind the video and watch that part again. So with this one, I'm going to make 5 rows of green and then 2 rows of the blue one here. So yeah, I'll meet you when I've done my 5 rows of the green one. Okay, so I went ahead to make a couple more rows of half double crochet with me changing my colors after 5 rows. So this is 5 rows, 2 rows, 5 rows, 2 rows, up until we're here. So now, just to bring the picture back, this is where we are right now. We've just completed this area. So now we are moving on to the part where we have to decrease so that we can build up this shape that goes up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm at my 4th row of the green color. So now I'm going to decrease, and how we decrease is after you've finished your half double crochet row, you're just gonna chain 1, turn your work as how you'd normally do, turn your work, pull up a loop, insert your hook through the stitch space as how you do if you are making a half double crochet, pull up another loop like this, like how you do with half double crochet, and then instead of yarning over and pulling through, you are going to yarn over and insert your hook in the next stitch space again. Now you are going to have 1 2 3 4 5 loops on your hook. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up a yarn and pull through all 5 chains. Now because I want to increase decrease 2 times, I'm going to repeat the same process, which is yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch space, pull up a loop, you have 3 on the hook, yarn over again, insert your hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, and now you have 5 loops on the hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna continue with half double crochet until the end of the row. So just half double crochet there, another half double crochet there until the end. And when I get to the end, I'm going to leave 1 2 3 4 chain spaces before I decrease. So I'll just keep on making my rows of, okay, so I'm just going to half double crochet until the end, and then I'll meet you guys there, but you must leave 4 chains before you finish off the row. Okay, so I've gotten to I'm at the end of my row, but before I close off, I have to leave 4 chains behind. This is because I'm going to decrease 2 times, so these 2 counts as the first decrease, and then the last 2 counts as the last decrease. So we are going to decrease the same way we did at the beginning of the row. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in this chain, then we pull up a loop, then we have 3 loops on the hook. We are going to yarn again, yarn over, insert our hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, and then we'll have 5 chains on the hook, and then we pull through all 5. Then we're going to repeat the same thing. Now it doesn't look like much yet, but obviously it's going to build up, because now you know you had 4 chains underneath, but now you only have 2 chains up here. That means you've decreased the number of stitches. So if you're only using one color, then you can just continue. If you're only using one color, then you're going to continue with chain 1, turn your work, decrease, and half double crochet all the way, then you decrease the last 4 stitches. But for me, I'm changing my colors, so in my last decrease, which is yarn over, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops on the hook, and then insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then I'll have 5 loops on the hook. Now, same technique of changing colors. I'm just going to cut off my yarn, bring in a new color, and I'm going to use this purple one here, and I'm going to attach it here and just finish off like this, as how we would normally do when we're changing colors with no decrease. And I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, I've turned my work, and I'm still going to continue with decreases. and that is pull up a loop. I have three on the hook, yarn over, insert my hook in the next stitch, yarn over. I have 5, and I'm going to pull through all five loops, and I'm going to decrease in the next stitch again because I'm decreasing 2 times. Pull up a loop. I have 3, pull up another loop, insert my hook in the next one, pull up a loop. I have 5 on the hook, and I'm gonna pull through all 5. And from here it kind of becomes a repetition, so I'm just going to half double crochet across until the end of the row. And if you look at it now, it's starting to take shape, and that's what we want. I've come to the end of my row with just four stitches left, so I'm going to decrease in these 4 stitches. So that's decrease in the first 2, and another decrease in the last 2. Another decrease in the last 2. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and decrease as usual, and that is yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, next stitch, you have 5 on the hook, pull through all 5, you do it again, yarn over, you have 3, yarn over, insert your hook, you have 5 on the hook, and pull through all 5. Then you just continue to half double crochet until you have 4 chains left, and then you just decrease in the last 2 chains. So I'm gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna continue to do this for a couple of more rows until I see the top take shape like how I want it to be. So I'm probably gonna come back when it has taken shape somewhere up until here, and your project should look the same. Okay, and if you're only using one color, then you don't have to stress about how I'm changing the colors and everything like that. You just have to follow the tutorial as it is, using the same color that you're using, and then I'll meet you when I have my top building up into the shape that I want it to be. And just to bring the picture back, it should look like this. So yeah, I'll see you when I see you. As you can now see, the top is starting to take shape. You can see that these sides are decreasing, so as these sides. So I've made my 5 rows of green, and as usual I'm just going to change to my last color, this blue here. So I'm just going to decrease, sorry, I'm going to add my blue, and then I'm probably going to make 2 rows of blue and 1 row of green with no decreases. So let me just walk you through that real quick. I've already cut off my yarn, so I'm going to decrease right there. Sorry, I'm going to decrease like so, and then decrease as usual. Sorry, my green is not cut off. I'm just gonna cut this off, and then I'm going to decrease in this new row with my blue color. So we're going to decrease like how we normally do. And then from here I'm going to continue with my half double crochets until the end of the row, and when I get there I'm still going to decrease. So I've gotten to the end of my row, and by the look of things, I have reached to this. I've reached to this part here, so I'm not gonna decrease anymore. I'm just going to put a regular row of half double crochet with no decreases. So that is I've chained one, turned my work, and I'm just gonna half double crochet in the first chain across until the end of the row. Until the end of the row. Half double crochet there, half double crochet all the way across until the end of the row. And if you feel like you have not decreased enough, then you can just work it according to your preference. Right, so I've gotten to the end of my second row of no decreases. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to attach my green color, and I'm only going to make one row of no decreases in green, and then we'll move on to the next step. I've gotten to the end. Let me just cut this off. I've gotten to the end of my row of no decreases, and by the look of things, this is, oh sorry, and by the look of things, this is how the top should look like so far. So let me see if I can get the full view. This is what it should look like. So the next step is now, sorry, okay, so now, because we want to have a neat finished look, we are going to make single crochets. We are going to border the top with just single crochets. So we are going to crochet single crochets across all the way until we are back here. So this is a little bit tricky, but not really. But all you have to do, since the stitches are not as clear as you can see, you're just going to eyeball it and probably just use your instincts and see where you want to place your single crochets. But obviously you wouldn't want to put your single crochet in here because you are leaving a lot of space here. So you might want to put your first single crochet here, and then your next one just somewhere here, and your next one probably just somewhere here. Like I said, you just have to eyeball it and use your instincts okay, and see where to place your single crochets. So I'm just gonna place my next single crochet right here, and my next somewhere right here, and my other one just probably just somewhere here, and then you continue to single crochet all the way until, let's say until here. So you are giving this top a border just to give it a neat finished look all the way across. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys when I have bordered my top with single crochets. I've gotten to the end of I've gotten to the other side with just with bordering my top with nothing but single crochets. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut off this yarn and tighten it like that. So what we're gonna do next is we are going to put another row. How must I explain this? So the top is going to have, okay, this is one long chain, and this chain is to tie in spaces here. So what we're going to do now is we are going to chain these little spaces where this chain is going to tie into, so that it can be a top that you tie around your back. So we are going to I'm going to insert my yarn somewhere here, just somewhere here, and this is the sides of the top, right? We're inserting our yarn in the sides of the top. So I'm going to attach my I'm going to attach my yarn on the sides of the top, and I'm going to chain 4, and the number of chains that you're going to make depend on how open you want your spaces to be. If you want them to be not too open, you can maybe just chain 2 and then continue to work on, but I'm going to chain 4. So that's 1 2 3 4, and I'm going to skip 1 2 3 4 chains, and I'm going to single crochet in the next chain space. So I've chained 4, and I'm going to skip 1 2 3 4, and I'm going to attach my chain in the fifth chain space. So I'm going to chain 1 2 and 3, and I'm going to repeat the same thing. That's 1 2 3 4, and I'm going to skip 1 2 3 4 chains, and I'm going to insert my hook into the fifth one, and I'm going to continue with 3 single crochets. So once I've gotten to the end of my row, I'm just going to chain 4 and insert my hook in the very last stitch of the row, and I'm going to slip stitch as so. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and then from here I'm just going to insert single crochets. Okay, I'm going to insert my first single crochet in here, my first single crochet in there, and this is just something that I do. So since I've chained 4, I always like to just put 3 single crochets in between, and I'm going to insert 1 2 3 single crochets on top of this, and here I'm going to insert 3 single crochets, and then I just continue. One, 2, and 3 instead of 4 because I chained 4. So I'm going to continue with just a single crochet on top of the single crochets that I made down here. So like I said, in these spaces I'm only going to insert 3 single crochets, and I'll move on to the next spaces up here. So I'll meet you guys when I have completed my row. So when you get to this point where you first inserted your yarn, you're just going to finish it off and cut it off, and basically you're done. And then you do the same thing to the other side, which is this side here. So I'll meet you guys when we have all completed our sides. Right, I've gotten to the end of my row on the other side as well. So I'm just gonna cut my yarn, snip it off, and tighten it. So I don't want to see this, so obviously I'm just going to hide it somewhere, just like that. The reason why we do this is because we don't want to cut them off too close to the knot, because if we do that, chances are it will unravel, and we don't want that. Alright, so basically we have come to the end of this top. We're basically done. So what I'm gonna do, or what you are gonna do, is you're going to insert your yarn at the very top of the top, and then you just make a chain that is long enough to fit around your back. So I've done the first part, so I'm just gonna, because I like to double my yarn, because it makes a strap a little bit thicker and it just looks better that way. So I'm going to attach my two ends together. Attach my two ends together. And I'm just going to make a chain that is long enough to fit around your back, and it should be the same length as this one. Right, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you liked it, and I hope it was easy to follow. So if you have any questions, please just comment down below and then I'll be happy to answer. So while you are here, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share, and do the most. Thank you.